It's not a charity event. It's a boxing event that you are perpendicularly associating with a separate charity that has nothing to do with people buying the boxing event.
Exactly.
I was a part of the event and didn't know any of this. I didn't know where money is going outside of the fact that I was offered and said no.
And we've been learning as time has gone on that Ian and Anisa have kept a lot of like the ongoings away from the fighters, right? Like they haven't been talking to them, telling them like, hey, this is what it is. This is what we're doing. These are the things here. Hey, what's going on, guys? Feature Complexity here. Just wanted to turn around and say apologies for the blown out audio. It has been fixed. And yeah, we do apologize for it. We're still getting used to Streamlabs and figuring everything out. Anyways, without further ado, here's the video. Let's get right into this WillyMac video. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody who's going to come through. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and everything like that. So let's get right into this WillyMac video.
What is happening right now? I'm seeing IDUBBZ and Noah Samson act like Ethan receiving human skulls in the mail is just a funny meme.
Your opinion on the skulls, and did you send them?
I didn't send the skulls. I don't know. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that.
Always a good joke when you're sending human skulls to a person that you hate and are calling a genocidal maniac. Not saying that IDUBBZ sent the skulls, but you know, it's always a funny thing.
Especially when I heard that they were like from skulls.com or something like that. That made it funny.
Just like a death threat to a father, a family.
Yeah. Was it a death threat?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no.
Yes, the threat is...
Yes, it absolutely was a threat. Like, let's not even be coy about it. Come on. It's an actual... I'm sorry. When has somebody ever just been like, hey, man, you know what would be real funny? What's that, bro? We should totally send human skulls to somebody that on the internet, thousands, if not tens of thousands of people are saying should be killed.
...is motivated on your community slandering Ethan as a racist...
The real fucking knee slapper right there. Am I right? Am I right?
...who loves genocide. The threat so obviously is, you don't know who we are, but we know where you and your family live. I thought Ian would be empathetic towards this, since he thought Sam Hyde was gonna kill him for no reason.
It was the craziest thing because Anisa said to me, she's like, Kate, you don't understand. Ian and I both believe that Sam Hyde would really come and find me and would actually murder me. So that's the reason why we have to take all these precautions. And I was just like, are you sure?
I'm coming to kill you!
I was like, I think the guy's a millionaire. I was like, I don't think he's gonna risk his freedom to kill you.
Meanwhile, too low.
Which is always the greatest thing about some of these people, right? Like, especially with IDUBBZ and Anisa and all that, where they're always like, oh my gosh, we're fearful for our safety. It's kind of like with the whole, if you guys don't know, like the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Like Drake ended up canceling some of his shows overseas because he felt that his safety was in danger due to all of the quote unquote misinformation of him being a pedo was being spread, and actually is actively trying to sue music reactors such as Screwface Jean, Anthony Fantano, not iShowSpeed, what's the other one? Isanat. He's literally trying to sue reactors for spreading false information, and it made him so scared of being on tour that he actually had to cancel his tour. Like, dude, you're a multi-freaking millionaire, and a good amount of these people are also either millionaires or they have like stuff going on, you know. Screwface Jean, a multi-million subscriber channel. Everyone knows Kai Cenat is a multi-million, tens of millions of subscriber. They're not gonna risk their freedom and their money just to like come after you, bro. Come on.
Low-level staffers at the Israeli embassy were killed in the name of stopping a genocide. The same thing these guys accuse Ethan and his family of defending. But Ethan's crazy for being worried.
No, this is a hallucination. I will say it once again. If I don't think it's appropriate for someone to call CPS on Ethan Klein, why the f would I ever think it's appropriate for someone to kill Ethan Klein? Are you stupid? Of course, that is insane.
No, but you'd still praise them and hop on streams with them. Adam Panada is encouraging people to continue to make false CPS calls to Ethan and Gila. He's acting like it's a big joke.
Hello, is this Child Protective Services? Yes, thank you. I'd like to report a case of
This is the face of a person who could only get away with this by not living in America. Like, let's be realistic. A lot of the people who do all this crazy shit, just same as like Dark Viper AU, the only reason they do the shit that they do is because they live in a different country, and it would be like 10 times more expensive to sue them or go after them, because then you have to get international lawyers involved and shit like that. That's why Dark Viper AU has had a monopoly on copyright striking people and going after smaller channels, because one, everyone knows lawsuits are expensive as hell, but if you're doing an international lawsuit, you got to be adding a couple of zeros, you know.
Endemic dog infestation, and it also contains two Zionists. And as we all know, Zionists are baby killers. So I think this is a very dangerous situation for the children, given the dog and the Zionists keep those kids safe.
This might be funny if it wasn't actually happening. This guy is also a serial doxer. He's doxing people on Twitter right now as we speak. It's so wild to me that we have this group of people that have devolved into this mentality where lying is completely okay. Hassan's biggest fan account is spreading the lie that Asman killed his mom. Just makes it up. Even
Wait, what?
Hassan's biggest fan account is spreading
Arab/Jew radical tier list. My mom murdering cockroach man still pushing the line that not liking Sabra hummus is racist against Jews. Wait a minute, is he really trying to say that he killed his own mom? I like how you just made it. Didn't his mom die from cancer or something like that? Isn't that how Asmongold's mom passed away? She like died from some sort of like health defect, or not defect, that's fucked up to say, but like he died from like freaking, or she died from like cancer or some sort of like a medical reason.
The lie that Asman killed his mom. Just makes it up. Even Frogan, the least relevant Hassan groupie, is completely lying about her past statements, saying veterans deserved PTSD.
I'm a live streamer as well. I know being live for hours and hours on end, you can misspeak, and that is exactly what happened whenever I said the thing about the U.S. military.
Bro, you...
Oh my god, I hate this. Oh yeah, guys, sometimes you misspeak. Me too. I totally messed up when I said PTSD should be given out to all veterans, unless, you know, they repented and kissed the ring.
Didn't misspeak, you were serious.
I will never have any pity for any soldiers.
Look at this egghead freaking wanna. Oh my god, egg count too. Yeah, this bitch.
U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
She lives in Michigan, by the way. And then you double down the next day laughing at what you said.
And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Base?
These people are so...
And then went on to cry after she got a temporary ban. This freaking loser.
Such cry bullies. If you aren't 100%...
These are the people who just, they don't go outside. They stay within their own little, you know, echo chamber of people, their own little area of people, in an effort to go ahead and be isolated. They don't go outside to regular events and shit unless they have their little entourage with them. Why? Because then they'd be confronted by people.
With them, you're against them. A Twitter account posts that Hassan was banned for a day. Well, Hassan frames them as an agent of Israel. Hassan replies, every blue check power farmer is an Israeli dick rider on this website. This guy didn't say anything. All he did was report your ban. And you have a blue check mark. Rogan sees Asman's...
Well, based off of that, guys, we know Hassan is an Israeli apologist. He's an Israeli dick rider. He's got a blue check mark. We're using the same logic here.
Didn't say anything. All he did was report your ban. And you have a blue check mark. Frogan sees Asman speak mildly about political content on Twitch. In Frogan's eyes, he's discriminating against her.
If I wanted to optimize ad revenue, you know what I would do? I'd ban politics. The odds are that me and Hassan and Tectone and Frogan and Denims and Central Committee cause 90% of the PR problems on the entire website.
And it's 100% true, because when all of the shit was going on, well, when it was at its peak between Ethan and Hassan, Twitch actually ended up losing. They had a mini adpocalypse over there, and it is because political shit is so polarizing that you get the most rabid of people on either side, whether it's the left or the right or some other, you know, nomination of whatever it is that you decide to be in the political atmosphere. But you get people who are so freaking crazy that, you know, they go out and they start doing the most asinine, wild shit ever. I mean, look at just sports in general. How many riots do you have over freaking soccer, or how many times is people like attacked or even killed at like Super Bowl events or fucking football events and shit like that? Politics is such a polarizing topic that people go crazy, and it's just team sports.
Facts.
Either you're completely with us or you're completely against us.
Rogan tweets, you consider me political because I wear a hijab. I am not like you and don't make political content anywhere, but typing a tweet once in a while. What reality?
Bro, she literally has been covering the whole Palestine-Israel thing. That's politics. Like, let's stop. Let's stop. Come on. Seriously. I mean, just because she's not smart enough to actually talk about certain political things doesn't mean that she doesn't try.
Is she living in? No one mentioned your hijab. And now we have the newest rising star in Hassan's orbit, IDUBBZ, who's consistently used Creator Clash as a way to shield criticism because it's a charity event.
It's
ain't no meat shield like children. God.
Disappointing, and it makes me sick to see him, like, you know, using the event as a way to, like, attack me back or whatever.
The new management of Creator Clash 3 revealed that Ian and Anisa were taking 34% of the profit from this event. Was Ian really concerned about his charity possibly failing, or did he only care about his bottom line?
Don't worry, Ela. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
He thought he was cooking with this. Since then, Freddie Wong seemingly dropped out of the event after seeing Ian drag Creator Clash through this drama. Both the fighters from the main event dropped out.
Yeah, and pretty much all of the big name people except for Sapo, or what is it, Sapnap and the other dude, I forget, the two big old Minecraft streamers have dropped out. Like any quality named person who would bring in views and shit has dropped out, and a majority of it is because of this dumbassery. They turned a faux pas charity event, right, a for-profit charity event, into the Middle Eastern conflict. And so nobody wants to be a part of that. People just want to go ahead and box and have fun and do some crazy shit, but they turn it into a fucking team sports, and it's insane.
Out of Creator Clash 3, blaming Ian for it. The event went from an arena that hosted 20,000 people to one that has a capacity of 4,000. A reputable harm has been done to this charity event. Everyone rightfully blames Ian and Anisa, but the funniest part is it's barely a charity event at all. Ian
It's really not even a charity event. Like, we really need to stop referring to it as a charity event. It is a content creator event with a side of charity, maybe. Maybe. You were always told by my Scottish parody dad who grew up in the Catholic area, don't talk religion or politics with strangers outside the home. Lol, this is why. Exactly, Stinky Brew. You don't want to get into... Listen, I am okay with talking about politics until it starts turning into some stupid, crazy shit, right? Like, the moment I realize a person is so sidescucked, that they're so into the team sports that they can't even point out what their political party is doing wrong, I'm like, all right, cool, bro. Like, that's it. Like, we don't need to keep talking, because there's no point in talking to a brick wall, right? I'm not crazy, and I don't want to waste my time like that. Keep all of that shit to yourself, pretty much, in my personal opinion. Only talk with people who you believe are open to actual discussion. And the moment they're not, it's like, all right, cool. Like, just don't waste your time. Don't waste your breath.
Founded on Reddit. We restructured so the funds for our charity partner would be raised on Tiltify, separate and apart from the actual event. The Tiltify is essentially when you go to Walmart checkout and ask you to round up $1 for charity. That's the extent of the charity aspect. People joke that this event would be a disaster like TanaCon.
You're saying the event is going to be worse than TanaCon?
But TanaCon's problem was that too many people showed up. For this one, there might be too many folding chairs. Yes, this is the actual venue. To hear
Jesus Christ.
Too many people showed up. For this one, there might be too many folding chairs. Yes, this is...
Remember, this is an event here put on by multimillionaires, and this is the new event. This is the new event that they've got going for them, okay? Folding chairs in a freaking octagon surrounding it. They had to downsize because of the crazy amount of money that they've lost over the years.
Is the actual venue. To hear him cry about, oh, this charity event's getting ruined when no pay-per-view sales, ticket sales, or profits from concessions is going to charity is a whole nother level of dishonesty.
Well, not only that, but they're not like the crazy thing is Creator Clash 2 got more I don't want to say screen time, got more publicity after the event than it did prior or during the event. And Creator Clash 3's the only reason it's getting any publicity right now is because of how badly they've completely fucked everything on it. So it seems as though Ian and Anisa are just one-hit wonders with Creator Clash. And considering the fact that the people who were here from the beginning with Creator Clash 1 and 2 have now taken over, not much can be said about it. You know, you can't really turn around and be like, oh, wow, this should be good because somebody else took it over. No. These were this company and these people are the same people who allowed Anisa and Ian to completely run Creator Clash 2 into the ground. They didn't stop them or anything of that nature. So who's to say that it's going to be good? Right? We're going to have to wait and see.
What was the charity for? Like cancer research, or I don't even remember.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
stand up to
cancer is bad, comes below, I don't like this guy. And I'm going to talk about not liking this guy before I talk about cancer is bad, because I don't really care about either, but I'm more likely to make videos out of that guy, and whoever gets in the way of that, even if it's kids with cancer, fuck them.
Noah, do you not know cancer is bad? Are you unaware? Oh, sorry, guys. Can't criticize Ian. There's this crazy disease nobody's heard of called cancer. This has been a disastrous event. It's worthy of criticism.
The way I see it is I think the common defense from the other side would be something along the lines of like, don't use charity as a shield. But I think they completely missed the point that it's like, it's not a shield. It's just like, hurt me as much as you want. You know, it's basically saying like, you do not have a case.
But IDUBBZ, we don't need to hurt you. We just need to let you talk. You hurt yourself, bro. Well, I guess I should say Anisa hurts you more than anybody else, but like, we don't need to go after you or dig anything up. You guys just willingly give us all this incredibly personal information that is that nobody should have. I mean, some of the things that Anisa has said about IDUBBZ, man, I would have taken to my grave. So
you are not winning, you are not hurting me, so you're trying to find other ways to hurt me. You are like, you're kind of by attacking this.
Stinky Bro, how many events has Keem put on since the last one? Far too much overhead costs. If not, Keem would do one every month. Yeah, putting an event like this together is tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And let's cut out all like the extra stuff. If we're talking just simply putting on an event, getting people out there, finding a venue, making sure you have, you know, security in place, you have the you want to pay for the fighters' hotel and flights and stuff like that, right? They're coming out here to do it. It's all being put on. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars generally. And not only that, but if you're putting one on very consistently, you have to be making way more than what your overhead cost is. You can't be breaking even, or you can't be just barely making more money than what you spent. Otherwise, eventually it's going to become a net negative.
This other thing by triangulating this other thing.
Yeah, exactly. Insurance, medical, contracts. You have to pay so many different people. You have to pay, not only do you have to pay so many different people, but you also have to go ahead and make sure everything is good, because you have to work with local law enforcement, let them know that you're putting this event on. There's just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars can go into this. And then when you're talking about like the much bigger things, right? Like you want to have an award ceremony, all the extra stuff, you're talking more hundreds of thousands. And we learned that Creator Clash 2, with their 2 galas, the award ceremony, the flying everybody out, all of that, they were negative $500,000 in the hole for Creator Clash 2. So if you want to go and put on this massive event, you are talking, like I said, hundreds of thousands.
You are proving that nothing's working, you know?
Yeah.
And
oh man.
Yeah. Oh man. That was completely retarded. Your own fighters are dropping out of the event. You think it's all malicious? They just want to hurt you? All of this genuine criticism is just a lie to you. Here's Wade, one of the commentators, talking about how misled he was.
You're telling people it's a charity event. Stop telling people that, because it's not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole issue with the lack of communication behind number 1 and 2, that it's a charity event. It's not a charity event. It's a boxing event that you are perpendicularly associating with and separate charity that has nothing to do with people buying the boxing event.
Exactly.
I was a part of the event and didn't know any of this. I didn't know where money is going outside of the fact that I was offered and said no.
And we've been learning as time has gone on that Ian and Anisa have kept a lot of like the ongoings away from the fighters, right? Like they haven't been talking to them, telling them like, hey, this is what it is. This is what we're doing. These are the things here. Like they even tried keeping all people who weren't content creators out of the gala events. Specifically, Ian's own coach and his wife, they were trying to basically tell them like, oh no, you don't have to, you know, you wouldn't want to be here, don't want to be here. And it's because it's just a cloutgasm. It's a giant clout orgy for them, which is, it's an unfortunate situation, but it's not a charity event. It's not. It's a come look at us event. Plus also if you want to donate to charity.
The fighters didn't understand that this was.
And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to put on some event, have fun with your friends, do all that crazy shit. But stop marketing it as a charity event for a defense and a sword, okay? You can't do it as a sword and a shield.
Wasn't a charity event.
Those of you that don't know, I'm going to be boxing in Creator Clash 3 in Tampa, Florida this June 28th. I'm very excited. You can grab your tickets now. In-person tickets are on sale and pay-per-view tickets are on.
I like her lamp. Her lamp is dope.
On sale as well. You can go grab pay-per-view tickets now. All proceeds from this event are going to Stand Up to Cancer.
That is just not true. The proceeds are profit for the organizers. Only the Tiltify money goes to charity. What was Ian's response in his newest video? Well, it's just a miscommunication.
I have felt extremely handcuffed by Creator Clash these past years because I'm not an expert communicator and I don't.
You don't need to be an expert communicator to tell people, hey, by the way, we're taking home 34% of this. It is a for-profit event, and people, the only reason it's a charity event is if people decide to give money to charity. Sticky Brew, did you hear about IDUBBZ boss scheduling on Pokemon's birthday party because she refused to go? Yes, I did hear that. Anisa, I believe it was, Anisa, I think, was the one who actually did that. So that's the difficult thing about Anisa and IDUBBZ, right? You don't know what was a decision made by IDUBBZ or for IDUBBZ by Anisa, but they scheduled the event on Pokemon's birthday because she did not want to go to it. Allegedly, right?
Know how to convey things, not over communicate, not do all these things that potentially.
In an event like this, you can't over communicate. Like if I'm running a charity event, I would rather somebody tell me, hey man, I get it. You don't need to keep telling me, or you don't need to do this, or I got you. I get it. I understand. Versus, I didn't know this wasn't for charity. Oh, sorry, I meant wife, not boss. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, his boss, his handler. We can call her his handler.
Potentially put the event at risk.
His Geppetto.
And put other people at risk. And that's kind of why I wanted to step away from this event. It feels like it's inhibiting my ability, like the business side of things, like inhibits my ability to communicate openly and effectively, especially when there's so many people counting on me to, do that well.
Okay. This is either he has an incredibly difficult time multitasking, which I can't even consider this to be multitasking, but this seems like the most BS soft-served reason. For those of you who don't know, I was in the Marine Corps and I was a platoon leader, and I was also a fire team leader. And as a platoon leader, you're freaking navigating anywhere from 50 to 100 different Marines with you. And generally, these are all anywhere from 18 to 29-year-olds who have never had a taste of freedom in their life, now being, getting an assault or getting a rifle put in their hands and told to go and defend their country and shit like that. way more difficult controlling the testosterone in a young 20-something-year-old with a rifle in their hand and grenades in their pocket than it is to run a fucking event, okay? And I can promise you the duties I had between being a Marine, a motor transportation operator, a platoon leader, and also a fire team leader, none of that got mixed up, okay? I was more than capable of being like, you need to do this, the company, we need to do this, we need to do that, my team needs to do this, more than capable of doing this shit, okay? And to turn around and be like, well, the business side of stuff, I couldn't convey it properly to people.
You don't have to be an expert communicator to let people know that this is a for-profit event. The new people that took over made it clear in just a few lines on the transparency page of the Creator Clash website. When things evolve, each new iteration is supposed to get better, like phones or tools, not Creator Clash. The fourth one's going to be held in Ian's backyard. But the best example of evolution might be Exter walling. Exter is innovating the wallet game with a slim, slick design. I think we need to give you a back pin. And as big as it is, I still for sponsoring this video.
Or not IDUBBZ, WillyMac. I'm sorry. Get your money, WillyMac.
It was revealed with the change of ownership that Anisa and I, because we're 1/3 ownership of Creator Clash, the business, that we were getting 34% of the profit share. We weren't anticipating this event doing well. Like, we wanted to do well enough to pay back the investors, of course.
How many white collar boxing events go throughout the globe that are profitable, that are profitable? Start small and allow people to donate as they wish. Give people who donate an incentive to, yeah, exactly, Stinky Brew. Like, and another person, if you guys don't know, you should go check out Adosa Buckley. Amazing content creator. I was watching him for many years ago when he was doing the musical autopsies and everything. He has multiple videos on Creator Clash, and if you don't know, the reason why he's covering it is because he himself went from being an amateur boxer, I believe, to now an amateur boxing coach. He runs his own gym and has put on multiple events and has been at multiple events, and he breaks down the cost, the cost, the purse, everything like that. And we're not talking amateur boxers, right? We're not talking people who do this for a living. We're talking freaking an insurance salesman, car salesman, freaking, Joe Schmo down at Burger King. Like, we're talking everyday human people who are able to put on an event, a profitable event, and have done it for charity in the past as well. This is just them basically trying to tuck tail, run, plug the holes in the ship. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with them being like, well, we couldn't really communicate it. And the reason they couldn't communicate it is because everyone was saying this isn't for charity, this is for money. And they continuously and staunchly defended the fact, no, this is for charity, even though we're taking home 34%. No, this is for charity, even though we took a majority of money. Oh, no, this is for charity, even though we paid for 300 people to come out and paid for 300 rooms. I was an amateur boxer for 10 years. These small dinner shows are very profitable. Yeah, Stinky Brew. Like, and not only that, but it's very communicative, right? Like, I could be wrong, but it's always at like some community center or some small venue within the state or within the town, the city. Like, it's something that people come together with, like a fair or like a pop-up fair or a what's the word? I'm just thinking fair right now, but have you like oh my God, I know the city that I live in, they do like once a month or once every couple of months or something. They have it where like a bunch of people come out and they sell their goods like honey and corn and stuff like that. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's just something that your local county can get into and put on a YMC or a community center. Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of the reasons that we were, okay with the profit share thing.
So you guys were expecting it to fail? That's why I think it's so cowardly you guys bailed out of this event. Doesn't it seem like he made this content cop to get bad press so he could drop out? It's interesting how it took till now for moves to be made to make sure this event isn't a complete financial failure.
But another part of it as well is that the contract wasn't structured in a way that the profit share could just directly go to charity. It was told to us, like, you could just donate your portion of the profit share share to charity after the event. So we were like, okay, fine. Now I know some people will find it hard to believe that Anisa and I were just gonna give our portion of the profit share to charity. There's nothing I could really say to, I think, convince them otherwise. It was up to our discretion at the end of the day.
The reasoning is so weird. We took profit knowing that the event would fail, but if it somehow succeeded, we would donate that money anyway. You just have to trust us on that. Why not just have that in the contract? Instead of it going to you and Anisa, it goes to charity. Can it not be written in? Am I missing something?
And it absolutely can be written in 100%. Listen, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a some contract lawyer or whatever, civil lawyer or whatever. But I do know that you have it's the same thing as like when you get paid, right? In taxes, you can choose, you can allocate where your money goes to medical, dental, and stuff like that, right? Well, in this contract, it could be the exact same thing. And I know this for a fact. You could have it be like X amount of your income is garnished, for a lack of better words, or allocated to a specific account to go towards these charities, right? So you could have it set up to where, hey, of that 34%, 12 of it goes to Ian and Anisa in this account, and then 22 of it goes to this charity, right? You could set it up that way because it's how people do it. Fucking Rooster Teeth has been doing it for what is it, the children's hospital. They do it every single year to where almost every single donation that they get during the live stream will go to it. They have it all set up, and they have an account where people donate to it, and then that account is taken over by the children's hospital or sent to the children's hospital. It's not an impossibility. They just didn't want to do it. They wanted it to be at their discretion, in my opinion, so that way no one could really see where the money was going.
Brother, you and your wife aren't exactly known as honest people.
I'm very happy that, this year money is being raised for charity, and I'm glad to know that it's already more successful than year 2. Mission accomplished, as far as I'm concerned.
That money wasn't raised by you. It was raised by Hassan reacting to Ethan's content nuke. If you don't host your event at all, that money still goes to charity. You've done nothing.
Go figure.
And it's hilarious how much they say that Ethan is against kids. Like he's genocidal and he doesn't care about the kids. But had Ethan never made the content cop, they would not have over $200,000 to send to charity right now. Ethan has raised more money for charity for Creator Clash 3 than Ian or Anisa, bro. I think if someone put on an event for small streamers with no bells and whistles, $40 to $50 meals and boxing streamed on the net, say Grace versus Ruby, SpaceX with the option to donate. Yeah, you could do these really small things. It's not an impossibility. All it is just that you need to have people, non-greedy, lying pieces of shit at the helm. That's literally all it is. Go figure, the people at the top are the ones who determine how well this event goes.
The white guy 8 years later is like, I think Anita Sarkeesian was kind of onto something. There's a lot of assholes on the internet, and they're kind of misogynistic too, I think. It's crazy what a little CTE or the love of a woman will do to you.
Whenever you're around Anisa, you look like an abused dog.
I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
Call CPS. IDUBBZ has Giardia.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always...
That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. Let me just, for the lawyers, that was a joke.
Had like IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to spend...
at a cafe. Burton, has he always had IBS? Yeah.
I will say this. Stinky Brew, LCU, Local Universe Boxing would print money. Let's not even pretend. It would print fucking money. And even if they changed it from boxing to like a wrestling event, would still print fucking money. Okay, I may not enjoy the LCU as much as I did prior, just because it just seems like a never-ending incestuous cycle of BS. But I have to hand it to them. They're easily clearing 50 grand a month over there through all of the channels. If they had a live event where they were boxing or wrestling, the hosts were doing all of these like boxing, wrestling, or some sort of like obstacle course to see who wins or gets the prime time spot for a week or something like that, it would print fucking money.
Ian's just looking like a shriveled. You look like the grandma from SpongeBob, the chocolate grandma. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what's happened to Ian. He has zero confidence. He doesn't even know how to speak for himself anymore. His boxing coach is telling stories on how Anisa tells Ian when he's hungry.
One time we ended sparring, and afterwards everybody's hanging out, and she walks up to Ian and she goes, "You're hungry."
Yes.
And then so they had to leave because Ian was hungry.
Do you feel like I speak too much for you? Like in this,
I don't think so. You know me better than like I think it's a weird.
Seconds right hand, Alex Wasabi.
Well, I shouldn't say it's weird. The reason Anisa does it is because typically, whatever the topic is, she's filling in the blank. Because I don't say it for myself. I think a lot of the times, you know, my head's in a different space.
You're not kind to yourself. You've never been kind to yourself, and you'll never share. Like, if you're in a room with a bunch of people and people are talking about like what they accomplish or what they've done, you'll never ever speak up about that.
Does she change her diapers too? Now, I don't know how much weight to put into what this guy's saying. Maybe he's just angry and trying to get back at them for some reason. But now there's
which is something that you always have to take with a grain of salt whenever somebody comes out, unless they have, you know, proof, obviously. But at the same time, the stories are matching with other people who have said this, and then on top of it, the proof is also like that, where they're live streaming and she's just over here like, have you always shit yourself? Because ever since I've known you, all you do is shit yourself. You might need a diaper. Like, oh, feels bad, bro. I'm sorry, I could never find myself in that situation, in my personal opinion. Listen, if it is true and Anisa took IDUBBZ's virginity, I guess it kind of makes a little bit of sense. But at the same time, listen, pussy good. Don't get me wrong, pussy great. But pussy ain't worth it, bro. If you're getting dogged on by your wife like this, oh God.
another story about Ian getting cucked, no meme.
I've heard is that she was hitting on one of his sparring partners and was obsessed with him and gave him a VIP pass to the event.
Ooh. A lot of his sparring partners got the passes, but she definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with him.
Dude, that laugh from his wife. Hold on.
A lot of his sparring partners got the passes.
Look at how the smirk and the smile forms on his wife.
But
she's over here like thinking about, yeah, she did. Yes, she did. Complex, where's your co-host? I have not been watching in a while. Zeph is currently doing stuff with the family. He just had a move and everything like that, so he's out doing things for the new house and stuff, and getting settled in and taking care of some family stuff. But he'll be in. We'll have some time where we'll be recording together and everything like that. So he's just dealing with things. Nothing terrible. He's just like I said, he had a big move from one house to another, so he's a little behind the scenes doing his own thing. Plus, he's been doing stuff for Kmplxity. If you guys didn't see, he did just drop a video for the midnight release of the Switch 2 over on Kmplxity, so you go check that out, look at some of the gameplay, and we'll be doing more over there too with streaming and some more tech stuff like that.
She definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them, because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment. And then, even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it. And then,
I want to say that, I want to say that before. So Anisa never gave shoutouts to Michael training Ian at all, but she put out the first video of Ian like getting rocked in sparring when Ian was sparring with her crush.
Anisa allegedly flew out over 300 creators to the event with no requirement to promote it.
He's like, our brand is at stake. We're $500,000 in the hole right now.
I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that at that time.
Hey, shout out to Harley for the old school drama alert backdrop.
A lot of the fighters would have liked to have known that I don't think none of them needed to be in the dark about that, you know?
Their pay-per-view sales were behind and they were still spending money.
But they weren't honest about the fact that they were spending the money from the ticket sales on the hotel, on flying people in, on all these other things. So it was just like,
so those decisions, the gala decisions, were made while in the red.
Why are you not wearing the Force Drama hoodie I designed but never got paid for? Holy shit, you designed that? Oh, damn, bro. It's over there on the floor somewhere, I think. Either that or it's in the wash, one of the two. Hey, man, that design is fantastic. I don't know if you picked the fabric for it, but freaking mint, brother. Like, that is a great one. I hope that they do come out with better things, you know. I know that it's hard to do like plushies and hats and all of that because you really have to have a fan base that's going to buy it, but solid work on that sweatshirt, brother.
Yes.
I have a question about that.
First of all, they rented the hotel for over 300 creators and flew a lot of them in. When the first year it was much more scaled back.
Ian can't edit a video anymore, so he flies out Twitter editors.
And then the second year, they did that full hotel for 300 creators. They flew a lot of people in. One of the people they flew in was Froggy Tonic, and they flew him in from France.
That's insane.
And Froggy had told us.
For those of you who don't know, flying from one country to another, you're looking easily over $1,000. Easily over $1,000. You only drew the design. Hey, fantastic design, brother. Fantastic design.
That he was there to salvage the documentary.
Ian and Anisa haven't responded to these latest allegations, but they did defend their tattoos. Priorities.
Cool. It doesn't really matter what I do, cause I'll always stay stuck as a fool. I'll never be cool.
It really is remarkable how everything Ian says is projection. Donut Operator revealed in his podcast that Ian stopped talking to him because he made an OnlyFans joke.
He went to a range day with me one time. Like, we used to talk a lot about content creation and stuff. And COVID rolls around, I get bored at home, so I make an OnlyFans where I'm showing my meat.
Really?
And so, well, basically, I'm taking a steak and I'm rating a steak. And like,
see, that's the reaction that you're supposed to have. Genius.
I thought it was funny. So I'd be wearing like just an apron. Of course, I'm wearing like boxers underneath. And I'd reach down and be like, this is my OnlyFans. And this is an A5 Wagyu from down the street. And I would talk about it. And I sent it to Ian, and he got mad and called me and like said I was making fun of Anisa, and like I wasn't. I just thought it was a funny bit because I was sitting at home during COVID. And
you'll never understand what it's like to be an ally.
Yeah, it was he like said stuff like that. Haven't talked to him since. That was like 5 years ago.
Over that?
Yeah, and I've like texted him and tried to reconnect with him. He just won't talk to me anymore.
Ian's response is to say, conveniently leaving out that your girlfriend at the time was pursuing OnlyFans, but you were too pussy to deal with the criticism, so you made a parody account. No, I don't want to be friends with a coward. How is any of that a relevant response? Should Donut Operator have uploaded a video like you did, talking about how intelligent he is for letting his wife do OnlyFans?
But I'm cool with it. You do realize there are guys out there in private right now jacking off to your girlfriend. But I guess it's out of sight, out of mind, it's not a problem.
Yeah, Ian wants to see it.
Let me have my hope, all right? I want to believe he's too intelligent for this. Intelligence has nothing to do with it, but I will say this. If you want to retain hope that I'm intelligent, this is the most intelligent thing I've probably ever done, is revealing this side of me.
The bar's real low, huh? Bro's only real-world experience was working at Legoland. This man just said it was the most intelligent thing he's ever done. Donut.
Listen. If your significant other wants to do OF or be in porn or anything like that, that's between you and them. Like, you know, everyone's going to have their judgment. Everyone's going to have what they say and what they want to say. If you're securing it, sure, that's one thing. But let's be realistic. Nobody wants to be walking down the street and then have the possibility of someone coming up and showing you a video or pictures of somebody that you covet, or not covet, but somebody that you love and care about, right? And then on top of it too, it's like if they ever have kids, the same thing can be done to the kids. Like, we're already seeing it now where kids who have parents or sisters or brothers who are doing OF are being harassed in school because of it. I mean, it is what it is. If that's you, that's you.
operator, you're missing out. You could be Ian. The content cop has been nothing but a failure. It's done harm to everyone associated with Ian, so the new narrative is to hide behind the dead bodies of Palestinians. Act as if the content cop was about Israel-Palestine the whole time.
I even hate calling it drama, because at the end of the day, it was you kind of taking a stand of being pro-Palestine. I don't think that's drama necessarily, but the way that they have handled talking about this, people like Ethan and some people on Twitter that cover this make it about themselves so often, when that's not what any of this is about, you know. Like,
I'm sorry that I'm
this internet drama reminds me of wrestling in the Attitude Era. As a military man, don't you want to tell some of these content creators to man the hell? Oh my gosh, seriously. And it's kind of, yes, absolutely, Stinky Brew. The thing is too, is like, it is one of the reasons why I believe that everybody at some point in time should be in the military, right? Whether it's a year or two after graduation, just so that way you get a taste of what it's like to not have all of the freedom that you're provided here in the United States. And not only that, but it really puts into perspective like what is and isn't an issue, at least for me, right? Because while I was in the Marines and I would get messages from, you know, my then girlfriend or my family or anything, and they're talking about like, oh, I'm really tired from, you know, being at Starbucks all day and having to work. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I just did a 15-mile hike with 100 pounds of equipment on me in the blazing sun with very little water. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it puts into perspective what is and isn't an issue. And a lot of these dramas are not an issue. All it is team sports and my fifis got hurt.
such a fucking nasty person who just wants to roll around in the shit.
There's people in Palestine dying every fucking day. I think over the weekend, just on Saturday alone, like over 100 people were bombed and killed.
I can show your tattoos in all of their glory, or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great execution subreddit.
What was the impulse to finally take a stand?
Yeah, well, I think Ethan made it really fucking easy for me. I think honestly the only thing that made me second guess any of it was how it affects other people.
Ethan was mad because people were calling CPS on his children, and the content cop was acting like Ethan was lashing out for no reason. But now that Ian's criticized, suddenly he's a big advocate for Palestine. The only time he talked about it is when he said Anisa's half Irish and half Lebanese, so that makes her an expert.
I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anisa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anisa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming
Discord is in chat for you, Stinky Brew, and anybody else who might want to join.
Out of Israel.
When called out for this by the entire internet, Ian acts like he's above it all.
Yeah, I'm definitely a loser to a huge swath of people online.
Yeah.
And it's I don't really care to be a winner in their eyes.
I don't care.
Oh, I gotta kind of reconcile with my past moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I relate in that way, but then I also relate in the way that it's hard. It's hard to be funny. And I can tell that bro really admires a lot of these comedians that he's had on his show. I think he wants to, be something special. I think he wants to be an entertainer. But it's gonna take a lot of fucking pain and hurt to actually discover who the fuck you are, because I don't think he knows who he is, to be honest.
It wasn't overnight me gaining my confidence back. And I'm still probably not all the way there, but
this guy projects more than a movie theater. Yeah, Ethan should have followed your podcast format, where you hide all your new episodes on Patreon. They've figured out a way to argue that them making boring,
and they don't do it live either, like Ethan does. So any mistakes they make or anything that they say that could be offhanded or is a bad take or something like that, they could just edit it out. Not saying you can't do that on a live stream, but it stops them from being clipped or stops them from, people seeing those mistakes.
Content somehow makes them a better person. I've subscribed to their Patreon, and their podcast was so mundane I couldn't bother to slog through it. This was the highlight.
I would say there's some options that you don't think about as existing, especially when you're younger. I didn't think about how I could put an egg in my ramen.
Yeah.
I never considered that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, when I was young, the option that I thought wasn't existing was making it to like 18. But here we definitely, the option of having egg in your ramen, man, that's huge as a 30-year-old to figure out.
I always felt like it was a little bit like lacking something. Like I wanted to put something like cheese in there, but Fluffy put me on to putting an egg in there. I mean, he chefed it up quite a bit. He like would go through the effort of like cutting up some green onions and stuff.
Yeah.
and putting
Oh,
it in there.
wow. He was really chefing it up.
Yeah, I think he wanted to do more, and I think that's, to be honest, what a lot of like, I think that's such a positive avenue for people who are struggling with their weight.
How are they morally grandstanding on getting less views? They act like Ian's video saved the sex industry.
When the OnlyFans shit happened and everybody was shitting their pants about me having an OnlyFans, there were some content creators that suggested to Ian, like, the move is to make your own OnlyFans and go in there and fucking just start posting on OnlyFans and make it a big joke. And, like, that's what people want to see. That's what's going to be entertaining. And, like, yeah, we understand what the, like, politically correct, not politically correct,
Strategically.
the strategically correct move is. But in that instance, for the sex working community, that would harm them so much more than like it would help us.
That's the biggest frustration, is that people don't really.
How would it harm them? You're saying that because people would subscribe to his joking OnlyFans, that those people wouldn't subscribe to somebody else's? Listen, if people are gonna, if you give people an avenue to see you naked and they choose to not see it, that just simply means they don't want to see you naked. Like, if they enjoy the fake, the comical OnlyFans shit, like, it's probably because they enjoy your content and they find it funny. Like, it's not harming anybody.
It's like, I'm the one who made all of these videos in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the game.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like the suggestion of like
You're
making the
giving up the
OnlyFans
game.
thing a joke.
Yeah.
Like, that was like, that's so obvious to do that.
Yeah.
But the people who suggested that shit to me
Mhm.
are f***ing losers. If you're watching this, you're a f***ing loser.
Oh no, this guy thinks I'm a loser.
I'm gay.
Who would have thought that this would have been the peak of Ian's career? The biggest scope in Ian's video was him saying tons of people agree with him. They just didn't leave a comment or make a video because they're too busy.
I think all of
With all due respect, I watched the after show religiously, but never commented or chatted. Why has the view count dropped? I mean, we diversified, and just to get real quick with it, we diversified, moved away from more lolcow stuff just because we weren't watching it ourselves all too much, so we couldn't really cover something that we never really were watching, and also because we're moving more into like more commentary stuff rather than just kind of being a hang around of the LCU. And people who don't want to see, like right now, covering WillyMac and Ian drama, IDUBBZ and Ethan and all of that, they don't want to stick around for that stuff. They wanted their LCU mostly, which is totally understandable. And we'll probably cover them if something crazy happens or something real happens. So I imagine there's that. Plus, also, there are some people who just don't like some of the takes, I imagine, that we've had on certain situations or dramas. Totally okay. It goes up, it goes down. Some things we don't even, some things we have no control over. The Haley Joel Osment video had 2.3 thousand views, and then the Hassan video, I think, had like a couple of hundred or something like that. So it really just depends on what people want to see.
the people who are like, who is like literally winning the argument and who is like presenting a better case. I think a lot of those people are just silent, At most they're clicking like on a video, but they're not gonna fucking put in like the labor to like make sure their guy wins or their girl wins, They're just gonna fucking kind of move on because they got a life.
He's trying so hard to convince himself he's in the right.
Know that other commentary channels, regular people, when they're trying to get a temperature check about how people feel about this, they're gonna if the like dislike isn't giving them much of a vibe, they are gonna go to the comments and they are going to use that as a template for how they should feel about it. Not in all cases, but
that doesn't make any sense because you can't even see the dislikes on a video now as a viewer.
They want to have an understanding. They want to be tapped in because I think a lot of people, that is like it's important. I want to know what people are thinking about a video. But I think there's a big force of really loud people in the comments, and they scare people away. And especially if it's brigaded fast and quickly, like within the first 24 hours of it being uploaded.
Or maybe it's because your video sucks, but let's let them cook.
There's been a lot of people to put out commentary videos about Ethan, and they go bye-bye.
Like who?
Like they're like, "F this, I do not want the smoke, I do not want the heat." And even if it's like not genuine at all, it's like there are people out there in different communities that are like, I'm gonna get on this shit and I'm going to make them feel like the internet's against them and this is the fucking end of their career.
Bro, just name somebody.
Which videos are, I mean, do any come to mind specifically about?
I mean, I think the left or the snark, the H3 snark has like kept track of them. There was like one smaller commentary channel. I think they may have focused on like fucking like Ethan's topics or Ethan talking about Markiplier maybe. I'm not sure what it was specifically, but
the Markiplier joke. Listen, here's the bottom line. If you're a small creator or even a big creator and you decide not to cover something or you decide not to say something because you're afraid of the backlash, you're a pussy. Like, that's just the bottom line. You're a fucking pussy. Like, if you are afraid of rocking the boat, of potentially having people leave or unsubscribe or not watch or say something about you, give you mean comments, anything of that nature, you're a fucking pussy. You're not built for this game. Go continue being and taking the safe take and being on the fence about everything. It doesn't matter if you have 1 subscriber or 1 million subscribers. If you have conviction in what you think and what you believe, put it out there. Put it out there. And if you don't want to rock the boat, so you choose to say nothing, I'm not saying that's a terrible thing, but at the same time, just simply be honest and open about it. Like, no, I don't want to cause any problems. I think you're a pussy, but what does it matter what I think? I'm just some random person on the internet. Who gives a shit what I think?
that one got nuked. There was a woman who made one. Oompaville was another one.
We got one name and it's Oompaville. Now, I like Oompaville, but he prefaced his video by saying, I don't know anything about the drama. I'm not going...
Oompaville is such a terrible freak. I'm sorry. Oompaville should never be cover any drama whatsoever. He's terrible. Terrible takes, terrible understanding, zero evidence gathering, none of that. I'm sorry. IDUBBZ is like a mate that you tell his missus screwing about behind his back, but he just talks about something else instead of confronting the issue. Yeah, no. IDUBBZ is, not only will he talk about something else, he'll turn around and be like, you know what? I'm smart for having her be with other people and not letting it affect me. You're the one who has a problem. And it's like, all right, cool. So if I bang your wife, does that mean you're smart for that? Like,
going to look into it any farther, and he just sided with Ian on most things. He just says, I don't know the whole time.
I don't know. I really don't know the point of this video. I don't know what's going on, but it's very epic though.
Okay.
A lot of calling out of hypocrisy, but everyone's always hypocritical. If you're speaking and you're critiquing things and you're judging people, you're always going to be hypocritical, no matter what. Like, it's not possible to not do that.
I don't know what that means.
Apparently didn't.
That's not true at all. You can have a stance on something and not be a hypocrite. It's pretty easy. Like, how hard can that be? I think stealing is bad. Really easy to not be a hypocrite on that and to condemn people for stealing if you don't steal. Like, it's not difficult. You're not always going to be a hypocrite if you call somebody out on something.
I don't know if this is true. I'm not going to fact check it, but this seems like
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Anyone, if you're watching somebody and they turn around and go, yeah, I'm not going to fact check this, I don't know what's going on, just turn the video off. Just turn the fucking video off, because what's the point of hearing what they have to say? They're telling you, hey, I'm not going to fact check it. I'm not going to do any research. I'm just going to give you a BS opinion that doesn't mean anything because I don't have any knowledge. Same thing here with Papa Gut, though. I have a problem with Papa Gut on that too, but that's for later in the live stream.
Incredible. Hey guys, I'm gonna watch the IDUBBZ video, and I'm gonna pretty much take all of it as fact, whatever IDUBBZ says, and then any criticism though, I'm pretty much just not gonna fact check it. It's pretty cool, man. I love it.
When people...
But see, now that's hypocrisy due to the fact that Papa Gut himself has covered portions of the Cameron F305 controversy, and he himself hasn't even done actual research. All he did was react to the videos themselves and just took Cameron's word for it off of like a 10-second clip and didn't do any further diving into like what it was all about and why Cameron is in the wrong in areas. So that's the hypocrisy angle there.
Pointed out how lazy his video was, he co-posted by saying he touches too much grass. Dude, you only had to watch like 20 minutes of the H3 podcast to get his side of things. Is that too much work for you?
Find his post interesting. Remove today's video. Why? Because I felt like it. I'm going to start doing that more. I'm married. I can do whatever I want. Okay. Also, a lot of people expected a lot of research and taking it very seriously, and I can't do that while maintaining a positive mental state and touching grass and remaining employed, so I'm sorry.
He made a video
That's such a cop-out. It's such a cop-out. You took it down because you had a terrible take. Your video was useless to anybody wanting to know what was going on in the situation. It has nothing to do with you touching grass, has nothing to do with you being employed, has nothing to do with you having a family. None of that stops you from being able to go ahead and do a little bit of research. And if you don't want to do research, then don't make the video then. It's not that hard. Why can't people just say you're correct? I got some stuff to sort out rather than stand by an argument made of feathers. People don't like being wrong. People don't like being wrong. It's easier to convince somebody, or it's easier to fool somebody than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. And the reason for it is ego and embarrassment. They don't want to feel embarrassed. They don't want to feel like they've been tricked or that they did something incorrect, right? And honestly, Oompaville is just one of those people who should completely stay out of drama if he's saying he doesn't have the mental fortitude to, stay happy if he covers drama. Then stop fucking covering drama. It's not that difficult. If you have a broken leg and you can't run, stop trying to run. How hard is that?
That sucked and was called out for missing basic things like CPS getting called, but that's the only way you could think this content cop was good, is if you're missing context. Ian's newest video is on how he doesn't like concern trolling.
Ultimately, concern trolling is just saying something in bad faith. It's very similar to tone policing or sea lioning.
Which is so ironic because all he did his entire video was concern troll Ethan and Crazy Make. Now Ethan famously has Tourette, so what's the most empathetic couple on YouTube tweet out now that he's become their enemy? Drugs? Okay, it's time for loved ones to step up for real. Parents, partners, someone. I'm saying this so genuinely. It's okay to ask for help. Please get help. I criticized
And not only that, but we can't forget that Asmongold's Asmongold's take on Ethan's Tourette's was, hey man, just don't show your face. Like if you have Tourette's, just don't show yourself on camera.
Oompaville earlier in my video for chiming in without looking into anything. But that's the entire strategy IDUBBZ, Hassan, and Denims entirely operate with. You lie, and then you lie to get out of the lie while continuing to lie. And then you convince everyone who doesn't know what's going on that your critics are pro-genocide and are just crazy. The streamer watched an out-of-context TikTok thinking Denims getting called a waiting room was because she wasn't pregnant. But just
okay, that's funny. That is funny. I've never heard of someone being called a waiting room because they weren't pregnant, but that is funny.
The stuff that he says about women too. I genuinely don't know how anybody even wants to work for him at this point. It's like actually insane. He's like, what did he say? I saw some clip of him saying something about a woman, waiting room. He called her a waiting room because she hasn't had kids yet. Huh?
Denims get.
See, this is what I'm talking about here. People who are doing zero research, have no idea what's going on in this conflict, not the Palestinian conflict and all that shit, but have no idea what's going on in the drama and are making videos on it months or weeks into, or even at this point years into the drama, not knowing where it stems from, what the conflict is, what both sides are. Like, it's quick to turn around and just basically get the little extra views. And I'm not saying you have to follow everything. If it's not your scene, it's not your scene. It is what it is. Like, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't put out an opinion on it, because you could get clipped like that. And if you are going to put out an opinion on it, at least be willing and open-minded enough to turn around and be like, okay, I got it wrong, I apologize, and that's it. Move on.
Gets called a waiting room because people wait in her stream until Hassan starts. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. But Ethan's sexist now to everyone who watched these TikToks. Even Meat Canyon, who's just trying to be down the middle, is helping Hassan because this is not a down the middle drama.
Have a good one, Stinky Brew.
I don't think that either side's really that fucking, that fucking great, if I'm being honest. I feel like there's a lot of oopsie daisies, right? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Calling CPS, big ol' oopsie daisy. Sending human skulls, that's just an oopsie daisy. Painting this man as a genocidal kid-killing maniac, another oopsie daisy. Saying that his wife was a terrorist, that's just, oopsie whoopsie.
The problem is he has no he cannot. He can never say that he's wrong about anything. That is the biggest. That's the biggest problem with all of these people. Nobody can just be like, nah, I don't know.
And see, this is how you can tell that this person didn't watch the debate, because Ethan admits that he's wrong throughout the debate on certain things, and he apologizes and takes it back. Not only that, but he's issued retractions before on other dramas that he's been in.
It's fucked up. This is fucked up. I shouldn't be overreacting to this.
I agree that this is a problem online, but it doesn't apply to Ethan in this drama. He's the only one that has corrected information when he's wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, here we go. Examples.
I agree with you. I think that my characterization of it as a utopia, like in that moment, was distasteful, and I wish that I had said that differently. And I see that it came off bad. It came off bad, and I was wrong on that one. I totally agree. Watching that clip back, I'm regretful about how I spoke about it. And
Imagine the guy who's painted as a genocidal kid-killing maniac is the one who's able to admit that he's wrong, while everybody else who says that they're standing for the right side can't.
I think I did say that, and I think that was wrong. I was incorrect on
you've
that.
said that numerous times. You actually said you ChatGPT'd against AB when AB was like, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, by the way, I that's something I looked into, and I was actually wrong about that for sure.
But Hassan and these other people will lie and then continue to double down on it. Some of these lies go back over 3 years. I've documented this forever. But one that I think is particularly relevant is that Ethan is this ultra-Zionist genocide defender. Sometimes it's because he doesn't cite an exact figure.
You compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war.
The figure he cites is wrong. It's just wrong. Credible estimates have placed the full scale of the slaughter in Gaza at over 65,000 deaths due to traumatic injury alone.
But when Ethan's video came out, this was a common estimate given by outlets. Another time, Hassan disagreed with one of the 2 organizations that Ethan donated money to.
His organization that Ethan donated to and urged his fans to donate to is not a fucking charity. They gave money directly to the Atlantic Council under the false notion that they were giving money to a Palestinian charity.
But if you watch the original broadcast, this guy's completely transparent.
I work at the Atlantic Council, where I am a resident senior fellow, but also I run Realign for Palestine through the Atlantic Council, and I have a we have like our own standalone website, realignforpalestine.org. There is a donate button, and yeah, so like you're certainly folks can donate there, but also I would encourage folks to consider the World Food Program has a Gaza Appeals page that is dedicated just for, here, I'm gonna give you the page, that is dedicated for sending food just for Gaza.
Hassan even advocates for the same charity they promoted.
Yeah, the World Food Program is one of the actual humanitarian foundations that they link.
So Hassan mischaracterizes this entire.
Leave it to Hassan to turn around and say, nah, this person's terrible. He's a terrible human being because he doesn't, they don't even do this, blah, blah, blah. But then he turns around and he's like, yeah, that charity that I just told you wasn't a charity and doesn't help out Gazan people. You should totally go out and they're reputable.
Entire situation, and then crashes out partially because Gila describes people living in Gaza as Gazans.
It's really crazy how Hassan,
I don't know much about the Middle East, but I mean, here in the States, right? If you live in Texas, you're a Texan. If you live in California, you're a Californian. If you live in New Hampshire, you're a New Hampshirean. Maybe I don't know that one. My point is, if you live in Gaza, I would imagine that you were a Gazan. Like, is that not how it works? Am I wrong?
Just doesn't want us to help Gazans.
Oh my god. Oh, they're so gross, dude. They're such disgusting genocidal propagandists. Oh my god. Oh, it's crazy how Hassan doesn't want us to help the Palestinians. Wait, did she even say Palestinians? Hold on, maybe she did.
It's really crazy how Hassan just doesn't want us to help Gazans.
Oh, she didn't even say Palestinians. She said Gazans. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can still be Gazan even if you're Palestinian living in Gaza. Like if you live there or were born there, you're still Gazan. It's the same thing as like why I'm Mexican American along with all, I mean, I simply refer to myself as an American, but yeah, I wasn't born in Mexico. I just have Mexican heritage. So I'm Mexican still though. even though I live in America. Like, fucking come on, dude.
Here, another great way to
Grasping at anything so that way he could turn around and be like, nah, these people are terrible.
figure out Ahmed Al-Khatib being a bad faith actor is that he calls himself a Gazan American. He doesn't even call himself a Palestinian American.
Why is he making it a big deal? The coverage he watches does it every day.
The Gazans.
Thousands of starved Gazans.
The future of Gazans.
Gazan children. They're pressuring the Gazans.
Displaced Gazans. Hassan has tweeted it several times. Hassan himself has described Palestinians living in Gaza as Gazans.
There are definitely a lot of Israelis that do want the Israeli civilians to die, and certainly the Gazan civilians to die as well. The Gazans did not have access to
Because it's only kosher when he does it, but not when someone else does it.
She didn't even say Palestinians. She said Gazans. Oh, they're so gross, dude.
But the biggest sin Ethan committed was not liking a slogan.
You were talking about from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And
okay, so like at worst, the worst interpretation of that would be like someone like Hamas or Hezbollah or like terrorist organizations who are like, yeah, we want to actually kill everybody there. That's the worst interpretation of it. I know that there's a lot of people, obviously, vast majority of people who do say that don't want to kill all the Jews there, right?
They're such disgusting, genocidal propagandists. Oh my God.
Does he really deserve that label? I'm sure there's plenty of things to criticize Ethan for, but these people are labeling him as something that he's not. He agrees with them on all the biggest points.
And the government of Israel is a colossal failure. Netanyahu's a war criminal, a fucking psycho. Into the genocide happening by settler fucking lunatics, and they're hellbent on.
If I'm not mistaken, the biggest thing that they disagree on is that Ethan believes Israel has a right to exist.
Genocide.
I could be wrong, and I am 100% okay with being wrong on that. But as far as I know, that is like their biggest thing. Hassan believes that Palestine should basically exist only, and that Israel should be taken away. I could be wrong on that, but
frankly, overtly. They've committed tons of war crimes in Gaza, including the killing of children, obviously, because Gaza is one of the most densely populated places in the world. I'm pulled myself all the way to, outright saying that it's apartheid, that it's genocide, that the Israeli government is committing. Happening in Gaza is a terrible humanitarian crisis that we should all care about. If you're pro-genocide, then we're definitely going to have a disagreement.
Bro, all of these comments on every video call him a genocide supporter because he doesn't like every single thing these guys say and do.
I don't know what's going
on. It's exactly like what I said before. You're either all the way with us or you're all the way against us. That's why I hate politics. That's why I hate team sports type of shit.
On. But ever since October 7th, it's like I'm nothing more or less than a Zionist genocide supporter. Nothing.
Genocidal propagandists. Oh my God.
At one point are they just slandering him? And the most cowardly part is they hide behind the dead bodies of Palestinians to avoid any accountability on them.
It's also wild because the political content creator in question is an anti-genocide content creator, and the arguments they're attacking him for are anti-genocide arguments. So these creators, they're positioning themselves in opposition to him and his arguments, de facto positioning themselves on the pro-genocide side. Anti-genocide is pro-genocide. It's quite the precarious predicament they've placed themselves in.
He's twisting himself into a pretzel trying to explain it. You can't criticize Hassan, otherwise you're pro-genocide. It's so stupid. I watched Noah Samson's
I hate this type of stuff too. It's like the same thing as like if somebody gets ousted or not ousted, if somebody gets accused of like being an SAer or being a pedo or something, and you turn around and you're like, wait, hold on, let's see the proof. Then all of a sudden, oh, you defend say, oh, you defend pedos, you're a pedo adjacent, you're and it's like, no, I just want proof, and then I'm down with saying this about this person. Like, how hard is it to, if you're gonna make an accusation, have the fucking proof with it. But just because you're asking for proof doesn't make you in accordance with these people. And just because you question somebody doesn't mean it either. I mean, look at what happened with the whole Mama Mac situation. Tommy C spoke out and said that he was fake and that he wasn't an actual pedophile hunter. And Mama Mac's and his rabid freaking rabies infested, in my opinion, fan base went after Tommy C and tried painting him as a pedo and was saying he was touching his own kids and shit like that. Like, It has nothing to do with it. Just because you're questioning somebody and want some validity to come out of their statements or their project statement, their whatever it is that they're doing, doesn't make you for the other side. This is, again, team sports, and being sides cucked is the most bitch shit ever.
Recent video about Ethan Klein and Mutahar suing him for defamation, and I was blown away when I heard his explanation for why Mutahar is pro-genocide. It's because he criticized Hassan for his Houthi interview. One of the
Listen, the only type of genocide that some ordinary gamers that Mutahar is the genocide of his own character.
worst interviews in all of YouTube. I have an entire video on it. Go watch it.
Does he know what One Piece is?
One Piece, like, is that an organization?
No, One Piece is an anime.
Luffy.
Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes.
I think he hasn't spent
This is on the ground journalism here, guys.
much time with Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced to music with them, and he was vibing. So he likes him. Yeah.
So I mean, what? That's so
God, that
crazy.
fake laugh.
So they're just fucking chilling with the captains. Like, I don't understand.
To be clear, we're talking about.
They took over a ship and they're like hanging out with the captain of the ship at gunpoint. What's going on? Oh my god! Wow. What's going on? Like, come on, dude. This was the most bullshit interview ever.
About a man they took hostage.
America's like America's like blowing them up while they're just like doing cat and fucking chilling with the captains. Like, how does he feel about that? Isn't that fucking crazy?
Chilling with the captains after landing down on the ship on a fucking helicopter, armed to the teeth. But they're just chilling. I think they call that kidnapping, hostage situation. They're just chilling, just chilling, hanging out.
Crazy. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
They essentially claim
if you rob a bank and hold everybody hostage, you're just hanging out with money, bro. You're not really doing anything wrong. I don't know why the cops get so offended by it.
We couldn't have possibly supported a genocide because elsewhere we have said that we don't. We said that genocide is bad, so we are exempt from any criticism for any other things we may have said that do actually support a genocide. For this point, one of the quotes that they cite is Mutahar saying, "I'm not afraid to say that genocide is wrong." Wow, how brave of you, Mutahar.
He feels like
But yet you people will get upset with somebody if they don't say that genocide is wrong.
Has to say that because you
like it's not some sort of freaking baseline like some baseline take. Like, it's the most obvious thing here.
You keep saying otherwise.
Aside from that being just false,
Although there are certain people who have certain afflictions who like certain ages that a genocide would be totally okay with. In Minecraft.
Mutahar stayed silent on Gaza throughout the entirety of the genocide until it was time to join his friends on a Hassan bad smear campaign. If that's not fear, I don't know what you'd call it other than, I guess, cowardice.
That's it? Muta didn't make a video on the conflict? Pro-genocide. Muta criticized Hassan? Pro-genocide. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Muta was a Canadian YouTuber. Didn't realize he was the Prime Minister of Israel. This is the propaganda machine at work. Lie about people who criticize you. When you get called out, crazy make them. Support people who dox or falsely called CPS on them. Then when they respond to that, concern troll. Hide behind the dead bodies of children. Act above it all, even though they instigated it. That way everyone who's not paying attention will think you're the rational one. It's really...
Yeah, so if you really want to win an argument on YouTube and stuff like that, especially in a conflict like this, I'll say, not just flat based all over YouTube, the easiest thing to do is make yourself the victim. Like, look at what they do. Every single one has done it. Denims did it, Frogan did it, Hassan continues to do it. They poke the bear, they send a shot, shots get sent back, and then all of a sudden they're like, what'd you say fuck me for? What did I do? Wait, hold on. No, they started it. Like, it's just the most bitch shit ever.
Dangerous to conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, but it's completely acceptable to conflate criticizing Hassan with being pro-genocide. I'll probably get blamed for killing an entire school bus worth of children for uploading this YouTube video.
What you're doing with your platform is entirely negative against pro-Palestinian voices. Yeah, of course people are going to think you're fucking anti-Palestine. And I personally think that too. I do think that. The fact that while Israel is doing a genocide, a lot of these people have shifted their priority directly to drama slop
and to attack people who call out Israel's genocide.
We'll never fucking forget these monstrous pieces of shit for looking at a situation like the one happening, the one unfolding in Gaza, and choosing to never say anything about it, only to then make these fucking drama videos to call out the people who call out the Israeli government. If that's what you choose to do after 12 months, 13 months, 14 months of genocide, then you are less than nothing to me. Tens of thousands of children fucking destroyed. Okay? I read accounts from a parent that felt fire for the first time, woke up, okay? Immediately grabbed her son, started running out of the house, and in the process didn't realize that her son felt a little bit lighter. He turned back around and saw that it wasn't her son that she was holding, it was simply her son's arm. Okay?
I'm sorry. Hold on. I guess, like, was this in like the heat of the bombing or something like that? Like, is he saying that the house was on fire? She went to grab her son and didn't realize she was just grabbing his arm. I don't know. Okay, maybe. I don't know. There's no source here, so
that is the daily reality for Palestinians.
He's using a dead kid to shield valid criticism. It's so gross.
He just uses being pro-Palestine as a way to try to dance on this fucking tightrope where he gets to say whatever the fuck he wants.
That's you. These people want diplomatic immunity.
I honestly thought he was talking about himself for a second.
Can't criticize Hassan because he is critical of Israel. Can't criticize Ian because he runs a for-profit charity.
Ian is the only person who gets a pass for torpedoing his own admission, torpedoing a charity event. Why are we giving Ethan a pass for saying he wants the charity event to fail, effectively getting the charity event to fail and to postpone, and for the original creators to divest from?
Nothing is ever these people's fault. Hassan can't get stopped at an airport.
He just because, listen, I want the event to fail too. He didn't do anything to get the event to fail. Literally everyone who has come out and has decided to not be a fighter on the card has said it was because of the mishandling and the fact that it was turned into a Middle Eastern conflict rather than what it should have been, a boxing event.
Without blaming his critics.
These fucking dumbass slop tubers are actually playing with fucking fire. And I
hate the term slop tuber because nobody, it has been diluted into just basically you make videos on stuff I don't like or don't agree with, so you're a slop tuber.
Even thought about not even mentioning this because I was like, I don't want to give him any sort of like power over the situation. But like the reality of the matter is 100% the Trump administration is inadvertently working with a lot of these fucking dipshits. These dipshits are playing a formative role in getting people in trouble with the law.
This guy lies so much in this video. It's comical. These people.
Well, I didn't know that Ethan and good old Trump were working inadvertently together.
For such spurgs, Ryan Beard announces that he's criticizing Ethan in the upcoming video, and Hassan tries to gatekeep it. If you're a YouTube content creator who hasn't said dick about Israel-Palestine, and you're only now starting to let your critical positions on Israel be known, after 19 months of genocide, since it's no longer going to cause you severe career penalties, and you've spent a moment finger-wagging at people who have been correct the entire time, I will absolutely come after you. So you just argue with people that agree with you. Argues with Ethan, argues with Ryan. I will absolutely come after you. You aren't gonna do shit. Oh no, Hassan's gonna react to Bad Empanada watching somebody else's video and then get up and leave halfway through. I have a lot more to say about Hassan, but that'll be part of a much bigger video. So subscribe to the channel.
W video, WillyMac, W video. WillyMac does come out with some good bangers, that's for sure. Honestly, the whole Ethan, Ian, and Hassan situation has just gone off the rails. Ian he lost his credibility, he lost his viewers, his subscribers, and he had to throw in with a new crowd. And because obviously Hassan's crowd is the biggest crowd here, and the most rabid, the most brain dead, the most mouth breathing of all communities, in my personal opinion, he threw in with them because he thinks that they're going to outlast Ethan. But you should always remember, however far the pendulum swings one way during a situation or a conflict, eventually that pendulum swings all the as far as it did that way, the opposite way. And all it takes in this situation is Ian to just have one bad take, say one wrong thing, do one thing that that community doesn't like, and it's over for him. It happened to Ethan. Well, who's to say it's not going to happen to IDUBBZ? I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. This is fucking stupid, and I am looking forward to it all. We're still gonna react to the whole to the interview with Ian's boxing coach and his wife on H3. There's a ton of good stuff in that. But yeah, this is wild. Ian, you deserve your downfall, and Hassan, maybe you'll never have that downfall, but if you do end up having that downfall, you deserve it as well.